leaves have actually turned a little bit more since we got out here a couple of days ago, which is kind of surprising because we haven't had any rain and the temperatures have only dropped down into the upper 50s at night. And it takes two things usually to make the leaves turn and get bright colors. One is colder temperatures and the other one is a little rain. If we don't get some rain soon, I've got a feeling this is peak. This may be the peak anyway because it's been so dry this fall that I don't think we're going to get much more color than what we have right now. We've got some pretty bright reds and yellows and a few oranges, and I think that's about as bright as it's going to get. The TVA issues dock permits to people who buy lakefront property. You know, I said earlier that the TVA owns 100 feet from the high water mark inland all the way around the lake, so you can't buy that, but they will issue you a dock permit, and that's what these people who have all these private docks and boat slips and stuff around the lake, they have to apply for that dock permit, and they have to pay for it too, I'm pretty sure. And they only issue so many, so not everybody who buys lakefront property can even get one, or at least I believe that's the way it works. Now when we camp around the lake, and you're allowed to camp anywhere around the lake because the TVA owns all of that property, even in front of somebody's house or these big lake communities like Rock Harbor that we went past yesterday, and they had up all the no trespassing signs on their dock and stuff. You can camp anywhere along the lake, but it's my understanding that you're not supposed to beach your boat on the main channel. Like right over here is a really shallow beach. The bank is not steep at all. That would be a great place to stop and eat lunch or something, but you're not supposed to do that because you could get hit by boats going through the main channel. So I'm a little confused as to how people can put up these big slips on the main channel. But I guess the TVA decides where it's safe to put them and where it's not, and that determines whether or not you get a permit to put one there. Based on all that garbage over there, it looks like somebody's been beaching their boat over there and having lunch, whether you're supposed to or not. And there is a lot of trash along the lake, and you know, there's really no excuse for that. I mean, that stuff over there looks like they could have burned that in a campfire rather than leave it. If they didn't want to take it back out, at least build a campfire and burn it. They do a lake cleanup every year in the spring where people take their boats out and pick up trash all along the lake and get stuff like that old tire over there off of the bank. Since we've got our boat kind of put together, maybe when they do that this spring, we'll come out and participate in that. Of course, that doesn't mean we couldn't pick up stuff now, but I'm not sure the way we've got the boat loaded down, we could really take on a lot of trash. That would probably be something that we would have to do a day trip and not carry, you know, our propane cans or as much water or as much food. We've got 2 coolers and extra gas and stuff, so if we're going to do that, we wouldn't bring all that extra stuff. We're getting close to the 33 bridge. Off in the distance there, you can see they've still got some cranes out here. So they may still be working on taking the old bridge down. And today is Sunday, and it's supposed to be a little over 80 degrees, and there is nobody on the lake. And like I said a half dozen times, it is just gorgeous out here this time of year because the leaves are turning. We've few fishermen and those 2 people that were on the jet skis. And other than that, the lake is just empty. We saw one other houseboat out, and they were camped. They were camped just 1 or 2 coves down from where we camped at the first night. And we're probably going back there tonight. We may not go as far up in the cove as we went last time, because it's right by a cell tower, and we'll at least have cell service and stuff, and we can talk to people if we want to. There's a cell tower right by that marina too. I have no idea why we had no service. It might have been down. But we've got another absolutely gorgeous day. This trip is much better than the last one. The weather last time was just horrible. When we built our boat, this second construction on it, and we decided to use the coroplast for the walls, we looked at several roofing options, and we decided to just roof it with the coroplast, mainly because of cost. We've got maybe $60 in the coroplast that's on the roof. Well, neither one of us are happy with the coroplast that's on the roof. It holds water because it's laying down. It gets water in all the ribs, and that's kind of destroying it. The sides of the boat are still in really, really good shape, and the top doesn't have any holes or anything in it, but the edges are all curling up. Before we left this time, I actually went up and sealed all the seams in the roof with some foil tape, some HVAC foil tape, which was a real pain, but it had to be done because they were all curled up and they were leaking. So this winter, after we get the barn done so we can get the boat in out of the weather, I think we're definitely going to re-roof the boat, and hopefully we'll have it done in time for spring. If we don't, we're not going to let that keep us from taking it out, but we are going to re-roof it. And we had looked at some composite material last time to do it with. We're definitely considering that. That would cost us about, I think $250 is what we decided last time. And another option is a rubber roof, like what they put on RVs and stuff. We've considered that. So I'm not sure exactly which one we're going to do. Both of them have advantages and disadvantages. The rubber roof is heavier. The composite roof is lighter, and it would be easier to put on. And I think it would last, especially since the boat's going to be in a barn now, it would probably last the rest of our lives. So either option, I don't think the durability of it is a question at all. And I'm thinking we're probably going to do the composite just because it is a little cheaper. The rubber roof would cost us about $400, where the composite roof would cost us about $250. And I think I like the way the composite roof looks. I mean, the rubber roof is completely smooth and everything, and that would be nice. But the composite would kind of match our boat better, I think. But anyway, when we decide, we'll let you know which one we decided to put on it. Another big thing that we're going to change is we're going to get an on-demand gas hot water heater. Carrying the propane can is definitely a plus because we don't have to worry about running out of propane. We haven't had to use the heater any at all. We did turn it on a couple of times just to check it, and neither one of us remembered how to even start it. There go a couple people racing in bass boats, and they're headed at another bass boat, all moving at a very high rate of speed. So let's hope they're paying attention and not drinking. But having the big propane can anyway, that was a huge advantage. We didn't have to worry about running out of gas to heat water or cook or use the heater. But like I said, we haven't really needed the heater. We did turn it on last night just to check it, and neither one of us remembered how to start the dumb thing. And we were having problems with the propane can. I think Bret already mentioned that. the valve in our propane can is sticking, so when you turn it on, no gas comes out. So I guess next time I get that propane can filled, I'll take it to the gas station and trade it instead of taking it and getting it filled. It looks like they have completely finished taking down the old bridge. They just haven't gotten the cranes out of the water yet. The new bridge was so wide when they were building it, everybody thought it was going to be 4 lanes, but it's not. It's only a 2-lane bridge. But it does have a really wide shoulder on both sides, and the old bridge had absolutely no shoulder, and it was very skinny. 2 cars could barely pass. And I said in one of our older videos that there were all kinds of wrecks on it. I mean, and it would flood too. We've had flooding several times where the ends of the old bridge would be underwater and you couldn't cross the lake. This new bridge is much higher, but within like 2 days of the opening of the new bridge, somebody, I guess, was looking off sightseeing, and they ran up on the edge of it, up on the side. It's got like concrete guardrails all the way down it. You can see they go about half as high as a car, maybe a little bit more. But anyway, somebody was looking off and ran up on the side of that and flipped their car upside down just a day or 2 after the bridge opened. Man, those cranes are massive. And they're just regular construction cranes. They're not anything specific for the water. They've put them on big floating barges. I wonder how long those are going to be out here in the lake before they get them out. This new bridge is probably twice as high above the water as compared to what the old bridge was. The top of the old bridge structure, you know, it was a big old iron bridge. It was just about even with this bridge. And it was on the National Historic Registry as having the deepest footers in Tennessee. So I'm wondering how deep the footers are on this new bridge because it's so high. Did they have to go deeper? I'm actually kind of surprised that they took down the old bridge because it was a historic bridge. I kind of thought maybe they'd leave it up or leave part of it anyway as like a fishing pier. But it is completely gone. Bank over there. I mean, they've not only torn it all down, but they've kind of reshaped the bank. If you look on this side over here, you can see the gravel shelf there way down under where the new bridge starts. That's where the old bridge used to start, and that's why it would flood and you couldn't cross it sometimes. You can see it's not that far above the high water mark, and when we would have flooding, it would cover the ends of the bridge. Well, now that we're up here a little bit, you can kind of see where it hit the bank over here too. But they have really reshaped the land and everything so that you can't hardly tell where the old bridge, that it was even here. some massive piers holding this thing up. And there's no graffiti on them yet. Wonder how long that'll last. This marina over here is much smaller than Cedar Grove, but it has a county line bar at it called Bubba Brews, and they have karaoke, and it's kind of the redneck place to go around here. I have never actually been myself, but everybody around here talks about it, and almost everybody in the county has a picture of theirself at Bubba Brews drunk and singing karaoke. They also have a campground down here for RVs. It's at this marina. It's called Beach Island, I think. They have a campground at Cedar Grove too for RVs. A lot of people stay there year round. There always seems to be a little more traffic around this marina too. And you want to be careful when you're driving around here because they do have the bar there, and it's a good place to run into a boat driver who is under the influence. Somebody told me before we left that you can actually pull up and they will deliver drinks to your boat. So that's really not a good idea, I don't think, but just ahead of us is the island that we came to last time we were out, and we had a weenie roast up on the island for lunch, and we're probably going to do that again today, but we're going to go back over and stay in that cove that we camped at the first night we were out, I think. I'm really not sure I want to camp this close to the bar and that 33 marina. There's just too much traffic, and I would think it would probably be a little bit noisy around here. It was very quiet where we camped at the first night. Only the wildlife, that was all we heard. Super peaceful, and the moon's going to be really, really bright again tonight. You know, it's one day past full, so it'll be real nice out there tonight. I've been riding out here on the deck ever since we left Cedar Grove barefoot because we get quite a bit of water up on the porch. So I'm going to go in and put my shoes and socks on and get ready to beach this on the island.